The You're Gonna Love This or Not podcast contains harsh language and may not be suitable for younger listeners.
Why would you answer this call? Why would you answer this call? Why?
Hello?
Oh, hey man, what's up?
God damn it.
Oh, dude.
Well, I knew it wasn't Tony this time because Tony's on vacation, so it must have been Mike. That guy. I take him cupcakes and he gives away my identity.
No. All I had to do was tell your dad that I needed to find you, because you were in the hospital after an accident.
Well, that wasn't very kind.
Well,
my dad
whatever.
probably freaked out.
Well, he's looking for you, but, you can get a hold of him later. We got to record this episode first.
Please tell me there's no more sharks. I can't do any more sharks, man. If it's more sharks, I can't. I need a firm commitment. There are no sharks in this movie.
There are no oceanic sharks in this movie.
I don't like the way you phrased that.
There's a pool shark.
I like pool movies. I'm gonna watch like Rounders or something, or No, this one is a Emmy winner in it. It's got Emmy winner.
Yeah. Hey, you like boxing movies?
I do like boxing movies.
You do? Okay. How about zombie movies?
Well, I mean, some zombie movies, but not all of them.
How about vampire movies?
I mean, as long as it isn't Twilight.
Mummy movies?
Definitely bad enough this podcast. I like Brendan Fraser.
Ghost movies?
Not a big fan of Ghost. Yeah.
Oh, how about the Jeffersons?
Well, I mean, Turk and JD love the Jeffersons, so of course I love them.
Well, I tell you what, man. We got a ghost, vampire, zombie, mummy, boxing movie starring Sherman Hemsley of the Jeffersons. You're not going to want to miss it.
Are we watching Spookies again with Sherman Hemsley? Did he remake it?
No, this movie is way better.
Oh, well, that doesn't take much.
All right. Well, can I count on you coming over for Halloweenies?
Well, and it's Halloween, so I assume we have special guests, maybe?
We totally do.
And who would that be?
We're going to have Circle City Ghostbusters again.
Well, heck yeah. I love those guys. So I guess I'll come do this podcast since they're going to be there.
Sweet. I'll see you there, man.
All right.
In this very special Halloween episode of You're Gonna Love This or Not, the group is still social distancing, but they're still getting together online, this time with members of the Circle City Ghostbusters. This month, they pulled Jacob and Larry away from their proton packs to watch the 1987 film Ghost Fever. This Sherman Hemsley film follows a pair of police partners who stop at a southern mansion haunted by a slaveholder and other ghosts. How will they react? Let's listen to the trailer and then find out.
Just in time for Halloween, it's Sherman Hemsley, star of The Jeffersons and Amen, in
Ghost Fever! What are you afraid of, ghosts? Me, no.
He's a big city cop, hot on the trail of some cool ghouls. But with ghosts around every corner,
There's a ghost out there and he's after us.
all hell's breaking loose.
Decided to give you a fighting chance.
It's a fright-filled, fantastic holiday treat. So join Sherman Hemsley in the supernatural comedy adventure that's exploding with laughs.
Matt, you son of a bitch.
Oh, come on, man.
Like, seriously, man, I don't think I've ever seen a movie that was trying to take itself so seriously, but yet was so riddled with a ton of satire. Like, it felt like this movie should have been made on purpose, like Scary Movie, to, like, purposely mock bad movies, but it was actually trying to be a good movie. Although, had it been the premise of trying to mock bad movies, it would have been a good movie.
It is sincerely bad.
It's so bad. I mean, it's not quite as bad as Spookies, so you were correct in that part. It is better than Spookies. but not by much. I mean, yeah, not by much.
All right. Well, to discuss our movie with us this week, we're going to bring in our guests, Jacob and Larry from Circle City Ghostbusters.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Hey there, hi there, ho there.
All right. Well, I'm sorry I made you suffer through this. This movie is like 3 or 4 movies in one, and none of them are any good.
It was certainly a movie.
It was certainly a movie. That's no joke.
All right. Josh, you want to give us a recap? Make it quick.
I don't know. I'll try to make it quick. So basically, this movie is a story about a haunted house and people living inside of it, and they have to serve an eviction notice on this haunted house so they can build a highway in order to destroy it. And so these 2 detectives, I think that's what they are, go to this haunted house to serve this eviction notice. But when they get there, they realize the house is very haunted. And at first, Sherman Hemsley talks about how scared of ghosts he is because he's heard all these stories, and his partner, which I don't remember his name at this point, and he's like, "The ghosts don't exist. There's no way they exist." And then they get to the house after telling some story about it being children and going to the house and being scared. And then once he gets to the house, he's like, "Oh, I'm not scared of anything," even though he spent the first 20 minutes of the movie talking about how scared he was of it. And then, of course, we have some racist white sheriff in the movie as well, because what 80s movie would be complete without a racist white sheriff? And so they get to this house, and then they meet these ladies, and they're like, "Oh, these ladies are really pretty. We like these ladies. Maybe we shouldn't evict them." And then they start falling in love with these ladies. And it's kind of a whole thing. And they're like, "Oh, they're so pretty." And then like the ghost shows up, and the ghost is like this old racist plantation owner or something who's like super racist and has a rapey racist sex dungeon where he tortures the black slaves that he once held, which then Sherman Hemsley gets caught in all these traps because they were designed for black people because of racism. And then they end up fighting this ghost at some point several different times about things, and it's like the cheapest graphics ever. Like, I'm not sure they spent any money on that budget whatsoever. And like the entire time, Sherman Hemsley's trying to convince his partner that ghosts exist, but his partner, although all the overwhelming evidence is against him, is pretending like ghosts don't exist, and he's trying to like rationalize it away, like, "Oh, they've just rigged the house. It's just this. It's just that. There was a gust of wind. There wasn't a tornado." Although they use the term "white tornado" at some point, which, by the way, I call dibs on that for a punk rock band, and so that's gonna happen. And then finally, his partner believes in ghosts and then has to play the ghost in pool. So, and then the ghost keeps cheating, and he talks about he's a snooker champion, although they never play snooker, which is a little weird. And then, like, the ladies keep telling the grandpa or great 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 grandpa to stop cheating or something. And then the entire time, the ghost, who is the great great grandpa of these ladies, keeps cheating and doing things to torture these poor men who are just trying to do their jobs. And then at some point, we find out that the ladies are actually ghosts and they're not real people, although they're very corporeal. So they're like physical forms.
Yeah, they
because
just can't leave. They're not ghosts.
They just,
but they're...
yeah, they can't. They're like trapped bodies because if they try to leave, apparently they get old really fast. But then they have this magical pill that looks like kind of like a gusher, but also like a spirit stone of some sort of a crystal.
Ectoplasm
And
pill.
then ectoplasm pill.
Yeah.
So apparently they harvested Slimer's energy in order to make this pill so they could go out in public, which comes into play later in the movie, which I'll explain. And so at some point we find out that the racist ghost, is actually a racist vampire because of course he is. And then they're like trying to, yeah, with some voodoo course, but it's what plays again to the Jaws movies because no movie experience watching would be complete without another shark reference.
Well, this probably takes place in the Jaws: The Revengeverse.
Yeah, so yeah, well, that's fine. And then so it's like this is like 1985, I think this movie was made, and so there are a lot of racial undertones in this movie, like a lot. And then there's also some like pretty brazen racial things, like a Confederate flag.
Uncomfortably so.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, they use the term spooks a lot, but try not to make it about black people, but it's obviously about black people. And then they make there's a Confederate flag, of course, at some point in this movie because what Southern racist?
Well, that was the Georgia state flag.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know at this point. It's just ridiculous. And then we find out that this ghost is really a vampire, and there's 2 dueling scenes. First time they're dueling with pool sticks, and or pool cues, sorry to be precise. But the ghost pool cue looks almost like a lightsaber, and at some point the ghost is actually covered with a sheet of some sort, which makes it look like a Jedi robe. So it has like glowing around it, so it looks like a Jedi that's fighting with his lightsaber. And this movie like rips off a bunch of different stuff. It's like a really poor quality scary movie from the 80s, but wasn't trying to be a scary movie because they're trying to be serious. And then there's a bunch of covers of songs that aren't really songs by the Herman guy, and it's really bad because he's not really that great of a singer. And then at some point, they have to find out how to raise money. And then they remember this ad they saw in the newspaper about how you can fight Smoking Joe Frazier to win some money so they can buy the house back, which is only like $60,000. And so, like, at some point, they have to fight the vampire first. And then, like, one of the other ghosts, like, gives him the stick so he can drive the stake through his heart and then kills the vampire, which is the racist guy. And then now he's dead, which is cool, I guess, because although he was a ghost that became a vampire, he's now dead. But they were also harvesting people to make zombies at some point, but they were harvesting black parts to make white zombies, I guess. I don't really know how that works. It had a very like Lovecraft Country feeling about it. And so that was kind of different as well. And then like near the end of the movie, so they decided to have this boxing expedition so like he can fight Smoking Joe Frazier so he can raise money in order to buy the house to save these ladies that they've now fallen in love with. And so they go through this whole thing, and then he ends up fighting Smoking Joe Frazier. And then he ends up winning somehow because the ghost used ghost magic to like make his fists go really fast, but he's not really hitting him because he spends the first 2 rounds like dancing around, and then like Smoking Joe Frazier gets knocked out by this Puerto Rican guy who wasn't really hitting him, but was getting hit by ghost magic. And then somehow they win the money. And then like the sheriff comes in. It's like, oh, they're not really gonna take down the house, but I'm gonna buy it and flip it for a profit. But then like the two detectives are like, actually, we're gonna give the ladies $60,000 that we just won. And then like the sheriff's like, oh no, you like betrayed me, so now I'm gonna fire you, which is super sad because like now they don't have jobs, so like they have to move. And so like they go back to the house and they're telling ladies like, I'm sorry, we have to move because we got fired and we need to find jobs. And so like they're leaving, and like the one ghost decides to kill them so that they stay in the house forever, and then they end up being with the ladies forever. And so like it happily ever afters, and that's basically the whole movie. There's a lot more stuff in it. There's a bunch of costume changes. There were really bad costume changes, and there was some more dueling, and there was some like there was some pretty overt blackface in the movie, and
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
yeah, it was pretty bad. And then there were some white sheets, and they tried to escape and tickling.
Okay, they
and
grabbed sheets
stuff.
off the bed. It's not
You
like
know,
the white sheets were.
we're just gonna. I'm gonna do the recap, and then you can discuss it later.
Okay.
But yeah, it was pretty bad in general. Like I didn't know that you could make a movie this serious that was so heavily satirical. Like they should have just pitched this movie as like we're gonna make fun of all these other '80s movies that have come before us, and then that's gonna make it funny because that would have made for a really good movie. Like I would have enjoyed the movie if that was the premise of it. But the premise of this movie was we're going to try to make a serious ghost movie in the '80s with the worst special effects ever, and try to sell it as something that's good. And also, I'm trying to figure out how Joe Frazier was so hard up for money that he had to do this movie. And I just don't know. I'm so, I yeah, but
Uh-huh.
yeah. I
It
mean,
makes me feel good that you remembered so much.
Impact. We're gonna get some recaps from the Ghostbusters as well as their take upon how the whole ghost story works, and I'm really interested to hear what they say because I feel like this movie was just a shitstorm of problems.
I'm sure they absolutely loved it. Right,
I
guys?
don't think they did.
Okay, this movie was essentially a Song of the South, but if Song of the South was a B movie. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, that's about right. I agree.
It's a Halloween Song of the South.
Well, the effects are reminiscent
They're
of
cartoony
movies from the late 40s.
There was
so
animated lightning.
yeah, that's a word for it. I'm looking at the poster of the movie now. I used my friend Mr. Google to show me the poster of the movie, and the tagline on the poster is Sherman Hemsley is a big city cop hot on the trail of the ghosts. Too bad to get busted. And listen,
oh yeah,
the ghost in this movie gets busted in a dance-off. Like,
yeah, for sure.
You know, not one point during this movie did I feel like it was a big city, though. It felt like the middle of nowhere in Georgia.
See, there was the audience at the boxing thing, and there was the sheriff, and that was it.
I'm just wondering if you guys are going to incorporate dance-off strategies in order to defeat Ghost in your jobs.
Exactly.
Well, we've taken on a few ghosts via dance-off in our time.
I would like to see a video of that. I would be interested in seeing that. I think you should record that. I think that would be a much better movie than what we just watched.
Yeah, they don't let me dance anymore.
No,
Hey, man, you can dance if you wanna. You can leave your friends behind, because if your friends don't dance and if they can't dance,
don't get us sued, dude.
No, friends
of mine.
Oh man. So
speaking of Scrubs,
Rotten Tomatoes on this. There is no critic score. Not enough critics reviewed it. 41% audience score, which to me skews high.
That's way too high.
That's entirely too high.
Yeah,
this has a 3.6 on IMDb, and that's about 3 stars too many.
Yeah, like Letterboxd, 2.3 stars out of 5. That's crazy. I mean, I know that these reviews where anybody can score it, they usually skew high because the only people that watch these kind of movies are the people that want to see these kind of movies. But still, I mean, come on.
We have homework and we have to go on all these review sites and give it bad reviews.
Exactly. On Amazon, 37% of the reviews for this gave it 5 fucking stars.
Oh, that's a lie.
That tells me how Trump got elected.
They're all from Sherman Hemsley himself.
Oh, God rest his soul.
He just made different accounts.
Didn't we discuss we're not allowed to bring up Trump on the podcast anymore?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I hate bringing up Trump on the podcast.
So, we forgot about the saxophone scene.
The saxophone?
And how she can blow a mean saxophone, apparently.
Yeah, she blows a mean... Yeah, okay, so the innuendo in this movie.
Like in your endo.
The sex dungeon in the beginning, where he's reading out of the diary. That is like some straight up gay BDSM stuff.
The sex dungeon is something that we have to probably discuss a little more in depth because there's several contraptions in there. The most heinous of which sticks a rod up your butt and then forces you to put your crotch toward hammers that are coming down from the left and right hand side that are trying to smash your junk.
Yeah, you got to shake your booty.
In order to teach you how to dance better, because what we need to teach slaves is how to dance better, because that's important to him. Because then he forces his slaves later to dance for him after dinner parties while singing really bad renditions of songs that we all know and love,
or that we don't know and don't really love because of their history.
Well, the machine works because they won the dance off. They won that dance off so well that the ghost exploded.
Well, I've done that before, and by that I mean exploded on the dance floor.
I mean, you guys told me that you guys have won dance off against ghosts in order to vanquish them.
Not me personally. Another guy.
Yeah, not me personally. No,
Nick Cooper. He's a swell fellow, amazing dancer.
And there was a line in this movie you guys said you're going to start using in your ghost busting.
You write that down, Larry?
Yeah, one phone call and we'll bust this whole damn place.
Yeah, I mean
something along those lines.
That's a good line. I mean, you guys should totally use that. I
like that.
Workshop it, use it. Courtesy of Ghost Fever.
Yeah.
Mind you, there is no actual fevers in this film as far as illnesses go.
I disagree.
Oh, it was fever.
But I had a question. So if you run into a real ghost fever situation, which is
where you want to fuck a ghost.
Hold on. Let me ask the question. And don't interrupt me. Would you use a ghost cowbell?
Oh, God, no.
It's the only cure.
I thought so.
You guys.
But I needed to ask the experts. Oh, they love encouraging me.
No, I'm pretty
Everyone
sure
knows that.
Spike Lee saw this, and this is where he got the idea for Jungle Fever.
Well, I mean, there is ghost lovin' in this movie. It's not directly shown. It's heavily implied in one of the 48 genres this movie takes on.
Yeah.
There's no McLovin, though. If there's a McLovin, it'd make it better.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I feel like the guys from Scary Movie watched this movie, and they were like, you know what we should do? we should make it an actual satire and make it satire, and that would make the movie great. And then they did a really good job doing that and made lots of movies. Not all of them are great, but I'm sure they made money off them.
I was going to say, this movie is just scrambled when it comes to genre. I can kind of see what they wanted to do, which was make sort of, I don't know, an Abbott and Costello-y kind of ghost movie with a lot of different stuff in it.
Like it wanted to be like one of those old school ghost comedies.
Well, yeah, because there were like parts like their dance off thing before the breakdancing where they do their little number and everything, and
that's true.
And Benny and Buford or Jethro, he's Buford, right? He's Buford and Jethro, but Buford's
right? I think so. I don't know.
Buford and Benny, when they're together, like their chemistry for that sort of thing is really, really good. I think, anyway.
Yeah, like the premise of this movie had potential. Like the whole concept of the movie behind it, like it would, like I said before, it would have been really good as a satire. But they tried to pitch it too much as a serious movie. Like they were trying to make a good movie, and I think they just failed doing that. I mean, I understand where they were trying to go with it, but they executed it very poorly. It wasn't directed well, as we discussed during the movie watching it. It wasn't edited well either. There's just a lot of problems with this movie as far as like we don't think they had an editor. Like we kind of discussed that watching. We very much MST3K'd this movie while watching it, and it's just I don't know.
Well, it was shot like a kids movie, like an after-school special almost. Like it was a kids movie until like a 3-minute section when Sherman Hemsley all of a sudden blurts out bullshit, ass, and holy shit in like a 2-minute span. Like
that's the best part of the movie.
It just takes a turn. Although all that
did you miss the entire part with the sex dungeon?
Is before that. So I really think this movie was probably shot to be like a kid-friendly movie initially. This movie was shot in 1985, wasn't released until 1987, and there were all kinds of reshoots and re-edits. So I think they sort of stuck all that dirty stuff in there.
I don't think they had a single plan when they were making this movie. I don't
know. It was evidently bad enough to where, they wanted to do reshoots and re-editing, which was really bad for Sherman Hemsley since he fronted the money for most of this.
The fact that they reshot and re-edited this movie and it still came out a steaming pile of shit
oh my God.
is everything that I need to know about this movie. Like they saw this movie and they're like, we need to change things. But instead of making things better, they made it worse maybe? I'd like to see the original to see how it was changed out to become what it became.
I would because there's a lot of problems hanging.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many problems with this movie in general. Like it just, I mean, I don't know. It's just the whole movie just was riddled with issues, and I'm like, I feel like that they had spent all that time reshooting, editing. They should have fixed those issues.
Well, I think like there's probably a plot line that's gone now for Madame Saint Esprit, the medium, because in the beginning she has a German accent. And they make a crack about that later because she says she's French. And then for the rest of the movie, she speaks with a French accent and nothing more ever comes of it. And at the end, they make a point of mentioning that she showed up at the boxing match with her new boyfriend and then just drop it. Like that doesn't come into the movie at all.
Yeah, this is almost like that one movie we watched where the guy changes his accent like 4 times or 30 times.
Which of the 5 movies where people do that?
Well, the one where it was an obvious Jaws ripoff, the last shark movie we watched.
Yeah, that was the last movie we watched.
When you were like, some of the shark is over, and then you were like, just kidding, Shark Timber.
Exactly.
Because you like tricked me.
Because it was
which
the
was
beginning of the following
really,
shark.
really, really mean, and I did not appreciate it.
I didn't hit you up with a shark movie. I promise you there would be no.
There was no sharks in this movie, so they jumped the shark a couple times, but there were no sharks in this movie.
Oh, they surfed on top of the shark. There was no ever getting all the way over the shark.
Yeah, it was bad. So, our Ghostbusters friends, I would really like to hear your opinion on how they fought these ghosts and if their tactics would work in real life. And I'd very much appreciate your input in this. So, Larry and Jacob, if you could take this away and kind of let us know what you think about the ghost busting in this.
Would we call it busting? I mean, there's some dancing. I mean, they don't let me dance. They don't really let me dance anymore to take care of ghosts. So,
quite frankly, if it was us, like if it was us going in there and dealing with this exact same situation, we'd have probably burnt that house down about 5 minutes in.
I definitely would have burnt it down. Not intentionally either.
No, it would have been intentional. That it just wouldn't have been worth it. I mean, it's a ghost that transforms into a vampire somehow, and then he follows vampire rules, even though he was clearly a ghost.
I'm telling you, man, those
80 hours
curses.
Also, are you guys equipped to handle a ghost that turns into a vampire?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you light them on fire. Everything lights on fire,
Yeah, I mean, my golden rule when it comes to monsters that aren't spirits is one in the head to make sure they're dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they don't like being lit on fire, even if it doesn't kill them. I mean, it uglies them up pretty good.
Yeah. So is there a way? I mean, I know there's a way to light a ghost on fire. You just burn the bones.
Well, we just shoot them with.
If you could find the bones.
Yeah, I was gonna say ghosts don't have bones, dude.
Some ghosts do. Have you not watched Supernatural? Come on.
Also, I have a question for the Ghostbusters. Are ectoplasm pills a real thing?
They're gonna be.
They're on the black market right now. We do not recommend, if you come across ectoplasm pills, do not take them. Number one, your poop will glow in the dark, and that's not a good thing. I know.
Well, unless you want your poop to glow in the dark.
Hold up! You're telling me there's a pill I can take that will make my poop glow in the dark, and you're telling me I should not take this pill?
It's not FDA approved, so yeah, don't take it.
I don't care about FDA approved. If my shit will glow in the dark, I want to find this pill.
I don't think
you know. It'll save me looking around with a black light when you leave the recordings.
Oh wow! Really? Really?
You'll never want to flush it. It's a problem that just is not. You don't want to face this problem.
Also, you'll turn your bathroom into a Jackson Pollock.
I mean, I kind of want to turn my bathroom into a Jackson Pollock now. I'm not.
Find out how dirty your bathroom really is.
You'll never want to use your bathroom again.
Oh boy, my yard will be covered with random dark piles.
You don't want random possession because there's all kinds of minor spirits floating around out there. You could get something really lame possessing you, like a.
You know what? I'm related to Ghostbusters, so I'm not really worried about it. I can just call my sister and her husband, and they can come expel ghosts from.
So you think you get the family discount?
Right. You call them, and then they're just going to drag us with. That's just more work for us.
I do bake cupcakes, so I could just provide cupcakes or cookies.
We won't be so easily bought. Do you know what the family discount is?
Cupcakes, cookies. Apparently,
no, it's 150% normal pay.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got a lot of dirt on my baby sister, so I can just blackmail her until she does it.
All right. Well, moving right along from poop and family. Sherman Hemsley financed most of this movie by himself. It nearly bankrupted him. This was filmed in between the Jeffersons and Amen in Mexico. I thought for a while, the hallway in this was from Haunted Honeymoon. It looks pretty close to the same, but Haunted Honeymoon was filmed in England, so it's not reusing that set. And the director was so happy with his work that he demanded that his name be removed and replaced by Alan Smithy, which is
the Alan Smithy?
The Alan Smithy, which is the pseudonym that directors and producers and some other folks use when they want their name stripped completely off a project.
That's how I would like to be introduced to this podcast now, is Alan Smithy.
All right. Okay,
That's
sure.
a joke. I'm sorry. That was a mean joke. I feel bad about that.
No, I get it. Nobody listens to this podcast and nobody cares.
Then you don't need to change my name at all.
Okay. Let's see. We've got Sherman Hemsley from Jeffersons. Amen. Golden Globe, Emmy nominations. Dude was a superstar. Excellent dancer, as we saw in this movie.
Yeah, there are some pretty sick dance moves in this movie. I will grant him that. I mean, there's the pretty epic breakdance battle, which I was impressed by.
There's some Gregory Hines style tap dancing.
Yeah. which moves into the breakdancing. Which
I mean, this man just brought up Gregory Himes, which I'm pretty impressed by that.
Well, when the ghost wrapped himself up like a mummy, and he looked like he was about 300 pounds.
So was it Mummy
when he started
or was
dancing,
it
he looked
Invisible
about
Man?
120.
I feel like it was very Invisible Man-ish. It actually looked a lot like Matthew Bummer's character from Doom Patrol. That's
like
kind of where
Invisible
the
Man,
feel I got from that. So
I'm not sure if that was a Mummy or Invisible Man reference, but it was one of them.
It was different.
I mean,
so there's a lot of references to the movie that
there's no body or bones, so it couldn't have been a mummy. It was definitely Invisible Man.
That's true. That's true.
And there was no Brendan Fraser.
Well, no, because there was a sarcophagus right before that. So
we did see a random sarcophagus, but we didn't see any Indiana Jones. So,
but to have one character that's a mummy potentially, an Invisible Man potentially, a ghost, and a vampire. I mean, that's a quadro of terror there.
We didn't get a werewolf, which upset me because we should have had a werewolf at some point.
That was probably in the original.
My bingo card is incomplete.
Yeah, there was no werewolf, there was no Frankenstein's monster, there was no Mothman. There was a lot of things that they really didn't have. If anything, I'm disappointed by the things they forgot to put in this movie.
Yeah, I feel like they could have explored a lot more of the horror genre than what they did.
Yeah, there were no lagoon creatures.
There was no Swamp Thing.
Well, then
no Frankensteins.
A boxing match if they added all that stuff.
Yeah,
although they were down in a lab late one night.
This is my question. So the song that they were dancing to the dance off, was that the Monster Mash?
Could have been.
Is that the song that's referenced by the song Monster Mash?
Maybe. I mean, they did the mash
dance that was formerly known as the Transylvania Twist.
Oh wow! Goodness gracious!
Is it the Frankenstein Foxtrot?
Moving right along, we've got Luis Avalos, who played Benny. He was on the Electric Company for its run as a couple of characters, and I think his last role that we would have seen him in before he passed away was in The Ringer. I don't remember him in either thing, but that's his claim to fame.
The Ringer, that was the movie.
That was the Johnny Knoxville movie, yeah. See, Madame Saint Esprit has done tons of TV. She has 96 TV credits. She was a recurring character on Charmed. And in the movie Heathers, she played Winona Ryder's mom.
What was she in Charmed? Was she the mom?
I think so. I'm
the
not sure.
The Hallowell ancestors? Yeah,
so.
She is. I didn't even realize that.
I mean, it doesn't matter. She's so bad in this movie, and she
was really good in Charmed. Like, I really liked that show, the original Charmed, of course.
See, as Andrew Lee, the ghost, Myron Healy, who was a big 1950s and 60s cowboy TV thing, had hundreds and hundreds of roles in those shows, and a lot of those shows reused guys. Like, they would come on twice over a 10-year run as a couple of different characters. He was on the Virginian in the 7 years that it was on 10 different times as 10 different characters, which means he was on multiple times in the same year as different people, which is crazy. Also, he was in The Three Stooges and The Adventures of Superman. And rounding out the notable cast members in here with 32 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw, Smokin' Joe Frazier as Terrible Tucker.
Yeah, I don't know how Smokin' Joe Frazier got involved in this movie. He must be friends of Sherman Hemsley.
No, I have a feeling that he was not wise financially.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so Jennifer
Rhodes
was
a Nick Cage role for
played the madam, and she's also in Heathers as Veronica's mom, which is a pretty great movie as well. And then she plays a part in 30 Rock and Son, which is a great show. Yeah, I didn't realize that was Graham's. I didn't really pay that close of attention to Charmed. I actually loved that show. So,
music in this was by a guy named James Hart. He has 2 credits. One is Ghost Fever, and the other is doing music for an American adaptation of 2 different anime mixed together that ended up over here being called Captain Harlock and the Queen of 1,000 Years.
So, weird thing I just realized is that Pepper Martin was also in Superman 2, so there's a Superman mix-up there of some sort. And he was also in They Came from Outer Space.
Yeah, he played 2 roles in this movie. He was the vampire ghost granddaddy, and he was also the sheriff, heavily disguised with sunglasses and a mustache.
And he also was in Dragnet.
The movie or the show?
The show?
Well, I was sure hoping you'd say movie so I could start singing City of Crime.
Exactly. Oh, you don't sing it. You rap it.
It's City of Crime. You sing the chorus.
Like a present. You rap it.
The director of this movie is Lee Madden, best known for directing the bikers film Hell's Angels 69. High five, you guys.
Nice.
Nice. He made lots of other movies that were not great, and mostly he made movies that were for industrial production and TV commercials for car companies, that sort of thing. Yeah, he was not a big budget movie guy.
And he still wanted his name taken off this movie.
Still wanted his name taken off this movie. Yeah, I would not have been pleased either, because it looks like one whole other movie made into another movie, just like Spookies.
Spookies was something else.
Spookies was
a guy
definitely
playing another guy, pretending to be another guy.
Exactly, but we are not going to use the R word or use blackface.
No, yeah, they did kind of use blackface in the movie.
It was not real blackface. It was like they got cartoon blown up.
I'm just saying the racial undertones and overtones in this movie were pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, this movie had 3 writers I saw in the credits, which is
it took
nuts.
3 people to write this shitty ass movie.
I think these 3 people wrote 3 different movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is no like hotel room cocaine incident.
I think there's a little
probably
nose candy involved.
Probably. It's 85, man.
Little booger sugar.
Little booger sugar. That's right. Little courage. Little nose courage.
Little riding the white pony.
And little rips.
Oh, you guys are going to be so happy. We have a sponsor for this episode for the first time in months. Yeah,
no, we
totally
don't.
Do.
We don't have a fucking sponsor. You're not allowed to do commercials anymore.
Have you guys ever listened to other podcasts in like the last 6 or 7 months?
Please do not do a sponsor on this film.
Yeah, because all the other podcasts, they're plugging those cool Raycon earbuds, right?
Please stop. Please just don't do it.
No.
Do you really want a lecture from Liz? Is that what you want?
Money. Josh, this is Mike. We need the sponsorship money. I'm sorry. Just let him do the ad. It'll be over soon. I promise.
God damn it.
I was going to say, those Raycon earbuds are out there, put out by Ray J. They're getting plugged on every Big Money podcast, and now it's our turn. We've got a cooler sponsor than that. Here in the time of COVID, cleaning, sanitizing, and dust removal are essential since we're all cooped up in our houses. And actor, rapper, / entertainer Mos Def has decided to help us out with his new home cleaning subscription box. For a modest fee each month, you too can receive a carefully curated bundle of home cleaning products selected personally for you with removing allergens in mind. For those of you who are penned up with messy kids like I am, this is an absolute godsend, and I wholeheartedly, genuinely recommend it. I actually look forward to it. Since we're their first sponsored podcast, we're authorized to give you an early bird offer. They don't have their website set up yet. The only way to subscribe is to use your phone and dial 667-387-8377. So if you've got a messy house, if you're stuck with an outdoor kid who brings messes inside, if there's something weird and it don't look good, who are you going to call? Mos Dusters. Also, please don't call that number. I don't know if it's real or not.
But you want to know a real number you can call. Here you go. 317-983-2368. That'll get you the Circle City Ghostbusters, and we'll come take any ghost out of your house for $5,000 or more. Guaranteed.
Okay, well, that plug is going to cost you $200.
For only $5,000? That's
or more.
I mean, minimum $5,000 is a pretty good price to get rid of a ghost, because if you have a ghost in your house, that's really gonna wreck your life. So $5,000 seems like a pretty modest price to pay to rid yourself of a ghost.
It is.
So...
It is, Josh. Thank you for pointing out that our services are very affordable for what you get. It's a value thing, Josh, and it's a value thing. I'm glad that you recognize that.
Yeah, I fully support all endeavors of the Circle City Ghostbusters because I feel like that having a ghost in your life would make your life more miserable. So hiring these guys to make sure that your life is not miserable, it's worth it. I mean, let's face it, guys. It's 2020. It's already bad enough. Do you really want a ghost making your 2020 even worse?
You don't.
No, you don't.
Most dusters. Come on.
No. If
Last
I'm
year
gonna,
was dope buses.
if I'm
This year,
gonna, if
most
I'm
dusters.
gonna choose a service to rid my place of ghosts, I'm definitely going to call the Circle City Ghostbusters.
317-983-2368.
I will say they did offer to come to my house to check for Bigfoots that may be hiding in my first floor bathroom recently.
It's pronounced Big Feet.
I believe
It
it's
was
Bigfoots if you look.
Matt, that was not a Bigfoot. That was just a giant shit you took after eating shitty tacos from.
No, I have never, in fact, seen the Bigfoot. I have been informed it's there by my 6-year-old.
Well, Owen would not lie. I feel like he's a pretty honest kid.
He's a pretty honest kid that's terrified of Bigfoots.
I would be too. I don't want a Sasquatch in my bathroom.
Yeah, Jesus, they're monsters. Why wouldn't you be afraid of them?
That's true. And when I'm dead and he's listening to this, he's going to be real embarrassed that I let the world know.
His name is Daryl.
My son?
No, the Bigfoot.
Oh, okay.
Have you not seen that commercial? My name is Daryl. It's a progressive commercial where like Flo's like, okay, Bigfoot. And he's like, my name is Daryl.
Okay, how many commercials for other products are you going to do on this show?
4.
I mean, since your commercial is a fake product, I feel like I can do all the products.
Ours is a legitimate product.
Most Def talk to me personally.
That is not true. There is no way Most Def from the amazing supergroup known as Black Star with Talib Kweli.
Oh no, it wasn't that Most Def. This was a guy I saw like driving down my street. He just gave me a wave.
Rolling down the street smoking Indo, sipping on some gin and juice.
No, it looked like he was gonna go mow somebody's yard.
So he's mows. So he mows deaf.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just a deaf guy who mows.
Rolling down the street in his 6'4".
You guys.
Yeah, I feel like you're making this up.
Absolutely, 100% not making it up. It really happened, just like the Bigfoot existing in my first floor bathroom.
Look, Bigfoot's not a joke. You need to get someone on that.
Yeah, I totally trust Owen over you at this point.
If your kid's already named it, the problem's much worse than you realize.
Well, he hasn't named it, but every time he goes in there, he takes his Ghostbusters spray bottle in there with him to deal with it.
Yeah, I fully support that. I'm going to need to talk to him now to find out more about the Sasquatch. So I'm going to have to call you later and have to talk to your son about the Sasquatch that's existing in his bathroom. So we can solve this problem somehow. Because if there's a problem, why solve it? Or actually,
I'm not going to check out the hook while the DJ
revolves it. Yeah, Ice Baby.
Okay, well, I do have a game tonight, but we'll go through the notes dump first. Let's see here. 3 writers. Yep.
Notes dump?
No, because there's all kinds of stuff in this movie that's awesome that we haven't covered. Sherman Hemsley's makeup.
I think they're getting called on the bullshit on this one.
Sherman Hemsley's makeup as Jethro, like he's unrecognizable except for his voice. I thought that was okay. That was tolerable. That was quality work.
Yeah, the shitty Amish pork chops were pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay, the moving grave slab, just like in Spookies in the beginning, except this was without all that production value getting in the way. Let's see here. It's super smart when you're skidding around on wet pavement to, especially when you've already spun out, to yell at somebody to stop and back up suddenly in the heaviest rainstorm imaginable because you thought you saw something. This house is in the middle of nowhere and is gated. How did the trick-or-treaters get there?
Actually, it's in a big city because you're a big city cop. So
yeah, big city. Come on, dude. Like you're messing up the continuity of this film.
Okay. They talk about how once they're in the house, they're in somebody's bedroom, just wandering around looking, and they talk about how they're probably breaking and entering. But they're the cops, and why weren't they worried about that when they just walked into the house to begin with? Let's see, we've got Super Duper, BDSM in the diary, the bluntest, nerfiest spikes I've ever seen in any torture device.
The treadmill. Don't forget about the treadmill that led to those spikes.
Yeah, the poorly disguised treadmill. Like, it's just a treadmill sitting there painted black on the sides.
I saw a red treadmill and I decided to paint it black.
Oh, God, I wish I hadn't brought that up now. There's Ghost Chicken. We discussed that while we were watching it. The chicken
Which
turns
we
invisible
discussed
after he
was
eats
also a near cousin to Robot Chicken.
If you have a ghost chicken, that'd be a class 6 entity. We take care of it, about $5,000 or more, and you can get your ghost chickens out of your house.
So, question. This is a serious question. So, a ghost chicken is a class 6 entity. What would a ghost goose be?
Class 6 as well. Class 6 is all animals.
Oh, all right. So, cobra chickens are also considered class 6. Good to know.
I will say Owen is all about figuring out the classes of ghosts since they're on the side of the spray bottle.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We put that there so for his reference.
Well,
And his reference.
thank you. He's had it for 4 years. Used it like when he was 3 and now suddenly started using it again.
Well, there's a Sasquatch in your bathroom. So
well, yeah, I get it. The Bigfoot's in there. Let's see. Oh, Benny ends up in a toga after. Oh, he ends up naked in a bathtub with that lady, and he's worried about relaxing.
Yeah.
He ends up getting out
We
and putting
might
on
have
a
also
toga.
made a Periscope joke during that scene. I feel like there should have been a Periscope at some
There
point.
should have been. Yep. He ends up in a toga and changes out of that into a 19th century Cossack uniform.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I don't really know what happened.
I know it's because it is the horniest of costumes. Let's see here. The breakdancing mummy ghost is at least original.
Really? Original?
Have you ever seen a dancing mummy vampire invisible man ghost?
I
Once,
mean,
but I'm not at liberty to talk about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like the Circle City Ghostbusters may have some input on this one.
There's the dubbing issues with the vampire.
Yeah, dude, the dubbing issues were so bad.
But it's like only in the second half of the movie.
Yeah, it's like the old with the Chinese films where they're trying to dub over the mouth. It was worse than that.
Yeah, it's awful. And like they spoke in English and they're dubbing it in English, but the words don't match up with the sounds that are coming out. I don't know. The zombie surgeon has the "give me some skin" joke. I thought that was fairly humorous. Let's see here. Oh, that movie was over? Oh, wait a minute. No, it's not. That's referring to the vampire getting destroyed because the movie should have been over there. Ectoplasm pills. Marijuana use in a kid's movie.
Yeah, we did see some wacky tobacco, some devil's lettuce there. That was interesting, but it was like ghost marijuana, so it made you really funky.
Yeah,
and
it gives you ideas like that you're an amazing boxer for no reason.
Yeah, like he's all of a sudden the best fighter in the world, which was weird. Also, that guy had to be really short because Spoken Joe Frazier's only like 6 foot tall.
Is he really?
And he was towering over that. So
well, Sherman Hemsley and the guy who plays Benny are roughly about the same height, so they must both have been little guys. Let's see here. We got the Rocky homage music. Don't You Count Me Out, aka Feet of the Pony.
Yeah, a total ripoff of Guy the Beggar.
Let's see here. Oh, there was one really funny joke that they don't really put out there, but
was there though?
During between rounds, when Smokin' Joe Frazier is sitting down in his corner, there's a guy shining his shoes. Yeah, they never bring it to the forefront. It just happens in the background, but that's a funny joke.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Wasn't this movie over half an hour ago? That comes in the middle of the boxing match.
I feel like
the end of this movie
before it began.
They remark that they don't have any family or jobs, and then the ghosts that are riding with them take it upon themselves to make that all better by murdering them.
Well, it worked.
Yeah.
Murder?
Well, he says like, well, I just kind of wish I was dead. And the guy in the back seat's like, that sounds like something we can help you with. And then car explodes like a fucking neutron bomb.
I mean,
Well,
we've all
it
been
did fall
there.
down a cliff first.
We've all met a woman that we would die for. I mean, let's be honest.
I don't know. They're looking for some Ray Stantz Fort Detmering action, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't knock it till you've tried it.
I guess. Sherman Hemsley gets top billing twice. I have never, ever, ever seen that before in a movie. And yeah, Pepper Martin is both the sheriff and the
like Eddie Murphy movies where he played like 30 different characters, but he didn't do that.
But I don't think he put everything like top billing. Like, would you have put Jethro as one of the top 2 characters in this movie?
Well, definitely not.
He could have combined it, in one line.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if anybody I would put in this movie as top billing. Let's be honest.
Okay, well, that's all I have notes-wise. You guys have anything to add before we stop talking about this wonderful, wonderful movie?
I still don't... The 2 ghosts, Jethro and the other guy, they were almost like Statler and Waldorf for most of the movie. They really didn't serve like a good purpose. They were just kind of there to... They were kind of like what am I thinking of? Almost like a Deus Ex Machina.
Say Rosencrantz and Guildenstern in Hamlet?
Yeah, that too.
But yeah, okay, so Andrew, the ghost. Jethro keeps saying that he's new at being a ghost. But in the beginning of the movie, he gets resurrected right as soon as he gets buried. Wouldn't that not have been like the day before? Like, they act like this is the next day, the way he talks to him.
Maybe when you're dead, it is the next day.
Yeah, because
time has no meaning anymore.
But Jethro wouldn't have died that much longer before him, like maybe a few years.
I don't know. Sometimes people are ghosts for a really long time and they're really, really good at it. And sometimes, they pick it up right away. They're like, hey, I'm a ghost. I just became a ghost. I'm really good at it. Some people have been ghosts for years. They're awful at it.
That's true.
So one question I have to ask is that if I happen to die before Matt and I decide to haunt him for making me watch all these shitty movies, will you guys promise not to bust me because he deserves this?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, man.
No.
I mean, unless we get paid a lot of money.
I'm a capitalist here. I'm going to say...
Will you pretend to bust me, but then not really bust me so I can come back and continue to haunt him for making us watch these shitty movies?
Matt, for $5,000 or more, I will bust that ghost.
If you guys want to haunt me when you're all dead and I'm not, you guys can haunt the Subterranean Fun Pit here all you want. I'll allow it.
Oh, I'm going to subterranean your fun pit as a ghost.
Oh,
again,
no.
$5,000 or more. 317-983-2368. We'll take care of any spectral entities. Yeah.
I like how the COVID pricing is coming into the account here.
COVID?
If you're worried about rehauntings, I would recommend buying the extended service plan.
Oh yeah, you gotta love the service plan.
Is there a warranty? You guys offer?
No, there's no warranty. That's why we recommend the service plan.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I do have a game tonight. It is the Alan Smithy game. Alan Smithy being the pseudonym that directors, producers, other folks in the movie industry used to give themselves if they wanted removed from a project. So the shit stain from whatever they worked on didn't stick with their name. So I have in front of me a list of several movies, some of whom were directed or otherwise worked on by an Alan Smithy. And I'm going to go one by one here. And we'll start with Jacob and then go to Larry, then Josh, and see if you guys can figure out if the movie was directed or otherwise worked on by Alan Smithy or not.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to start with Jacob. The first movie I have here is Twilight Zone, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Was anybody involved in that credited as Alan Smithy?
Let's go with no.
Incorrect.
Dang it.
Second AD wanted credited as Alan Smithy for a segment in that movie that we discussed in brief in the last episode. in which a very tragic accident happened, and yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Curses.
All right, Larry, you're my guy here. You're the trivia king, right?
Yep.
The Birds 2: Land's End.
Oh wow, they made a sequel to the.
That's what I said.
I would say yes.
Alan Smithy did direct The Birds 2: Land's End.
All right.
All right, Josh.
Okay.
Jason X.
Jason X. I'm going to go with no.
You are correct. Alan Smithy did not work on Jason X. The director is proud of his work.
Well,
as he should be.
Movie. That's a great movie.
That's true. That's true. Okay, back to Jacob. Time
it's
to
terribly great.
National Lampoon's Senior Trip.
Senior Trip?
Yeah.
Oh man, I've actually seen that movie and I did not enjoy it. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is an Alan Smithy classic.
This was in fact directed by Alan Smithy, a segment of it at least.
Oh, hooray for me.
I don't know which segment it would be, but yeah, it would be a second AD or something. All right, Larry, Ishtar.
Oh boy.
Legendary bomb.
Yeah. I'm going to say no.
No, you are correct. All right.
It was just naturally bad.
Yep. It's not a fun watch. Josh, Jack and Jill.
That shitty Adam Sandler movie?
Yep, that's the one.
I'm going to say no.
You are also correct. That movie was credited to its actual director. I have no idea who that be. I'm surprised. All right. We'll go with... we're back to Jacob. Oh, okay. Segments of Tiny Toon Adventures.
Wow. I'd almost say yes, just as a joke.
Actually, segments of it are directed by Alan Smithy. I'm not sure why. I think the guy just didn't want to be known as a TV director.
I
can't
bet
remember
they
who it was.
did it as a goof because they spoofed so much stuff. They
Yeah.
probably did that as a goof.
I think they mentioned Alan Smithy in those. I think so.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Okay, to Larry, Freddy Got Fingered.
Oh boy, I'm going to say yes.
It was in fact not credited to Alan Smithy.
Ah.
All right, Josh.
Should have been.
Yes.
The episode Paladin of the Lost Hour on the 1985 version of the Twilight Zone TV show.
Paladin of the Last Hour.
Paladin of the Lost Hour, sorry.
I'm going to go with no.
It was in fact directed. It was directed by Alan Smithy. Sorry, dude. All right. Back to Jacob. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
You are correct. All right, Larry.
One likes now.
Yeah. People like
got
it now.
Appreciation for that one as time goes on.
Well, speaking of another movie that people seem to like now that they did not used to, The Exorcist 3, Larry.
I'm gonna say no.
You are also correct. Wow. That takes us down to the very last one here. Josh, you can take yourself into third place if you get this one right. The movie is Burn, Hollywood Burn, an Alan Smithy film.
Well, of course Alan Smithy was involved in that.
You are correct. It was, in fact, the final Alan Smithy film before the Academy decided, or the Directors Guild decided to stop allowing people to do that with that name. Mostly because...
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, because the movie starred Eric Idle as a guy named Alan Smithy who makes a movie that he wants his name on and can't because that's his actual real name, but they only use it for pseudonym stuff. And the director took his name off the movie, and so It was directed by Alan Smithy, starring Alan Smithy. So that gives Josh 2 points, and tied for first this time, Jacob and Larry with 3 points apiece.
I had more than 2 points. Jacob got one wrong.
Yeah, you all had 4. You all had 4 chances. There were 12 movies.
I feel like I got more right than that. I think you cheated me.
All right. Well, somebody's taking this a little too personally.
I feel like I've won all the games recently, so we're like, how can I make Josh lose a game?
Oh, really, if I wanted to do that, I would have made it way worse.
Mm-hmm.
We would have done Ghostbusters trivia.
Well, that'd be a fun one to do between me and Larry.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I would just cheat and Google it all. I'm not going to lie.
I have no doubt. All right. So I am going to run a giveaway this month. Not sure how I'll get it to people. But I'm going to give away a barely used, as far as I know, Ghostbusters 2016 video game for Xbox One.
Wow. This is
I bought this game used, thinking it was something else. I thought it was the remaster. It is not.
No.
It is terrible. I played it for about 20 minutes, put it back in its case, and it's still sitting there.
It is certainly a game.
It is.
And I kind of want that game.
It is a game based on a movie, only has nothing to do with that movie other than, I don't know, a couple of bad guy characters.
Yeah, I kind of want that game just for funsies because I have nothing to do most days.
Oh, it sucks so bad.
It's like I've played that game. It's not worth it.
Like I said, it's barely used. Even though I bought it used, I'm sure whoever played it before me played it for 20 minutes also.
That I'm a glutton for punishment. I have been doing this podcast for 2 years and continue to come back every single month. So telling me that it's bad is not going to dissuade me from wanting to play it.
I will say this. I did find a review of the game where the reviewer said that the game was a deplorable, cynical bit of licensed drivel that wouldn't be worth the $50 asking price if the instruction manual were printed on a $50 bill.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
And that's
pretty
the majority of movies we've watched.
3 days after the game was released, the studio filed for bankruptcy and ended up being $12 million in debt.
Well, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it killed a game studio. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. So, what's a hashtag we can have if people want that game on Twitter? Anybody got a good one?
Ghost this game?
Let's make it something about Ghost Fever. We can get it trending, you guys, for Halloween.
Hashtag? I'm looking it up right now.
This game will give you Ghost Fever?
This game will give you Ghost Fever. That sounds
I
good.
don't know.
Well, I think the last usage of the Ghost Fever hashtag was in 2014.
Oh my God.
That's pretty bad.
I tell you what, let's bring it back. Let's just go with straight up Ghost Fever then. We're bringing it back. Halloween 2020. How could it be worse? Ghost Fever trending. All right. So if you would like this game, hit us up. Just tag at YGLToN. And use the hashtag Ghost Fever and tell us that you want the game. And we will randomly select from those that respond before the next time we record, although we have no idea when that will be.
The one person who responds will give it to you, basically?
Yeah, pretty much. And I have to tell you, guys, you really don't want this game, but it has to leave my house.
I have to warn whoever would consider entering this that I love Ghostbusters. I love the 2016 reboot of Ghostbusters. I love video games. This game is going to not be something you want in your home.
I have to tell you, man, I was so crushingly disappointed. I was like, oh, this is a different game. I can't believe I never heard of this. And started playing it. And yeah, it is just the worst.
For people who are knowledgeable,
you're really selling it to them.
If you've ever played Sanctum of Slime, imagine a worse version of that.
Yep.
And that's the game that you're
it's really not worth the hard drive space.
No.
All right. Well, anybody have anything to plug before we go?
My gosh, of course.
Or you
Our
could just
fan
recommend
film is
something.
out. Our fan
yeah,
film
that's right.
is out in July.
It's wonderful. I love it.
It's called Stranger Things in the Neighborhood, and you can check that out on our Facebook page or our YouTube page. Just search for Circle City Ghostbusters, and you will definitely come across it. Alternatively, you can go to ccghostbusters.com to check out everything you need to know about the group, including member bios, and follow us on social media.
We can follow you?
You can. On Twitter, we're at CC Ghostbusters. And of course, if you search Facebook for Circle City Ghostbusters, we're on there. We have an Instagram account at Circle City Ghostbusters. And, if you're still on AOL, Instant Messenger, we're not there. It's gone. It's dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, what was that Instagram thing again that we can travel on? CC
At
Ghostbusters.
Circle City Ghostbusters. It's at CC Ghostbusters on Twitter. And of course, you can confirm. And if you just need to hear a friendly voice, you can call 317-983-2368. We'll pick up the phone, or you can leave us a message if we're busy. And if you have a ghost, we'll be happy to get it out of your house for $5,000 or more.
Don't forget the service plan.
Yeah, you guys might have just gotten some new followers on your Twitter and Instagram accounts.
Thank goodness. We post quality content all the time. We have, your dose of weird for the week, so you can learn about the paranormal. Things like big feet, and
Bigfoots.
Sasquatch.
You guys also have a Facebook page?
We do have a Facebook page. Just look for Circle City Ghostbusters on Facebook, and it will hopefully be your first result.
It certainly was when I searched it.
Oh, good. Good.
I'm glad that you guys are ready to believe me, because I say some pretty outrageous things sometimes.
We are. We're ready to believe you, and for $5,000 or more, we'll do any paranormal, removal that you need.
Well, I'm pretty paranormal myself, but I don't want to be removed.
Would you say that you are strange and unusual?
Well, definitely.
All right. Well, one thing we have forgotten, we didn't rate this movie, and it's time. So,
oh man, how do I rate this movie?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Josh, you go ahead, go first. Out of 10, what would you rate Ghost Fever?
Man, this one's hard for me because there are some things about this movie that, if pitched properly, would have been a lot of fun. And so there's parts of this movie that I want to rate really well, because I feel like if described as a satirical movie, and if you go into watching this movie like you were thinking it's a satirical movie, it could be really fun. But of course, it's not how they pitched it. So I feel like 2.5 stars is a valid justification for this movie, because I want it to be satirical, so I want to watch it as that, but I realize it's not how they were pitching it, so I can't rate it any higher than that.
All right. Jacob, what would you give this movie out of 10?
I'm going to rate this movie a no out of 10.
To go with your letter grade for Spookies, I believe. Larry, let's hear it. Come on, 10, buddy. 10.
Well, I've seen a lot of really bad movies. This was certainly up there as far as bad movies go. I don't know if it's the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's pretty dang close. It had some good ideas, like you said, but it was just all over the place and didn't know what it wanted to be. It took itself too seriously at times. I like how they tried to add in zombies and all the other stuff, but then it was too, they tried to make it not a ghost movie, but a ghost movie, and I don't know. It was self-indulgent for Sherman Hemsley to be all over this movie. He's got his name in there twice. He's on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
If I had to give this a score, I don't know, like a 1.5 maybe.
Oh, brutal, dude. Brutal. All right. Well, there were parts of this movie I thought were well done, and if they had made the whole movie like those parts, I think they would have been fine, like the little dance numbers and the Abbott and Costello-y sort of stuff going on. But that's not the movie we ended up with. We ended up with a haunted house / undead / vampire / mummy / sex dungeon / boxing movie. So I am going to give it a 2.5 out of 10. Josh and I agree for once. It's crazy. We might never have agreed before. Except for, about
I'm so happy I could
heartbeats.
witness this moment.
I feel so close to you right now, Josh. Like, two men should never be this close. Even though we're apart, I'm always with you.
It's a beautiful moment. Beautiful.
Is Josh dead? Oh my God, I killed Josh.
You know what? If he comes back to haunt you for $5,000 or more, we'll get rid of him.
Take care of that.
Oh. Yeah. Josh, are you there, dude? Oh my God, I may have killed Josh.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, I guess he's gonna haunt the Subterranean Fun Pit now. And if he is really dead, I'm gonna feel really bad about this. But well, we've got to wrap it up. So wherever you are, Josh, I love you, man.
Don't come back as a ghost that then turns into Invisible Man / Mummy hybrid that then turns into a vampire. It won't end well if you end up dancing with someone
who's also making zombies. Don't forget that.
Oh,
Dance
please don't get in the zombie.
No ghosts are watching.
No ghosts better be listening, or else.
I am going to go find that Ghost Fever song, though. That song was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I was shocked. It was in the
Spotify?
trailer that we watched last year, and I was impressed. Anyhow, Josh didn't like it. God rest his soul. Circle City Ghostbusters, thank you so much for coming on again.
Thank you for having us, and thank you.
This was fun.
Why you guys keep coming back? I feel
please,
terrible.
everyone listening, go watch our fan film.
Yes, please do. It's wonderful.
We put a lot of work into it.
And with that, we'll call it a night. Bye-bye.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye. Thank you.
This episode of You're Gonna Love This or Not was recorded at the SFP Studios located off beautiful Eagle Creek Reservoir in Indianapolis, Indiana. It features Matt dragging Josh down into the dark depths of his movie collection and is released monthly on the Team Geeking family of podcasts. It is produced by Mike Wycliffe, edited by Liz Shunn and Tony Troxel, and features music by Scott Holmes, who can be found on the Free Music Archive. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or the podcatcher of your choice. And please leave us a rating and review. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.